book lovers, it is G-Swizz here, and I'm here today to talk about some of my favorite book covers of 2021. If you didn't happen to know, this is a 7 on Sunday, and I am the host of 7 on Sunday. I will link the Goodreads page down in the description where you can check it out. You can participate in a topic in the future or suggest a topic. As we are continuing on with the month of December, we are counting down some of our favorite things of the year, and what better way to do that than talk about some book covers. I just love talking about book covers, I really do. Even though I know you don't really judge a book by its cover, but cover artists do work hard sometimes, and it pays off. So I guess without further ado, I'm gonna get stuck into this list and talk about some of these amazing looking covers. The first book cover that I want to mention is Bloodlike Magic by Lizelle Sambury. I love this cover. I especially love it because of the color palette that is used on it, as well as the illustration. Voya looks absolutely stunning on this cover, and oh my goodness, they've also revealed the sequel's cover, Bloodlike Fate. I am so excited for the sequel. It's one of my most anticipated releases of next year. I just love that this color palette is so strikingly different from the next book, yet both of them look absolutely beautiful and they complement each other very well. I think I mostly like this one because of its colors, and I want to see more pink and purple on my shelves. Yeah, they're kind of known as like feminine colors, whatever, but like I like what I like, okay? Don't judge. I think what I also like about my physical copy is that the steam or the magic that's surrounding her and the flames kind of shine a little bit. I also like the green hues behind here. Everything about this cover looks beautiful, and I think that it deserves more praise, and I think that a lot of people need to pick this book up. If it's not going to be because they're intrigued by the plot, it should be because they're intrigued by the cover. The next book I've got to mention is Fly with the Arrow. This one I have not yet read, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. It is an independently published book. Unlike the covers that I usually do like, I tend to prefer illustrations of the characters on the cover because I would love to kind of visualize the character before going into the book. But this one is definitely more of a text-based cover, and I really love it. The typography looks absolutely beautiful, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this artist do typography on other book covers before. I'm pretty sure this might be the same person who did the Bridge Kingdom editions for the Bookish box, which I'm very excited to receive. Oh my goodness. This cover illustration is absolutely beautiful. It's definitely what intrigued me in general. Some of these independently published authors are commissioning some really great artists to do their covers. Honestly, I think that they really can't do anything wrong when they're commissioning a good artist. It honestly brings more appeal. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people get attracted to this cover for good reason. So this is definitely another cover that takes a spot in my favorite covers of the year. The next cover I've got to mention is also an independently published book cover, and that is Song of the Forever Rains by E.J. Mello. I love this cover illustration so much. Now, I do like the sequel's cover, but I prefer the first one, and I think I prefer the first one because it kind of gives me that tarot slash stained glass feel to it. I don't know, I think it's because of the structure of the illustration. It just works very well. The line art just works absolutely perfectly, and I like that these books also have a different color palette from each other. So the first one is just completely blue, and it works. Even though there is an illustration of a woman on the cover, it works for this design. I'm so blown away by how the illustrator was able to pull it off. That is a great effort, an amazing job. I don't think this would be a favorite covers video from me if I didn't mention a illustration by Charlie Bowater. And Charlie Bowater illustrates multiple book covers per year. But I think the Charlie Bowater cover of the year, in my personal opinion, has got to go to Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. And the reason why I give it to Vespertine is because I think that this is the most distinctively unique cover that she's put out this year. I mean, she has put out a beautiful cover for Brandon Sanderson's Skyward series. She's put one out for the Aurora Cycle series. She's put one out for a few other authors this year. I have seen Charlie Bowater's covers come out. I also really love Bone Crier's Dawn. I've got to mention that one too. But I have to say that probably the most unique one that I've seen from her, it kind of does match Margaret Rogerson's covers, but it kind of also doesn't. It's still a very distinct style, even compared to Margaret Rogerson's other covers, even though they are all illustrated by Charlie. Vespertine is without a doubt, I'd say, the one that is the most unique. And sets the tone for the story very well. You can tell that Charlie Bowater is absolutely talented because they do sci-fi covers, they do fantasy covers, but when I saw this cover, I thought to myself that Charlie Bowater reached another high in terms of talent. And I mean, it's really hard for me to choose this because Charlie Bowater is one of my favorite illustrators and she does a very good job every time, in my opinion. And now I'm gonna mention A Dance with the Fae Prince by Elise Kova. This is the sequel slash companion novel in the Married to Magic series. A Deal with the Elf King looked beautiful enough, but I did not think that it would be topped by A Dance with the Fae Prince. And in all honesty, it was topped. It's beautiful. I just love the color of the Fae Prince's wings and beautiful flowers that are in her hair, and just here in the fields, here in the sky, like when I do this, you can see that beautiful purpley light blue color palette. It is absolutely stunning, and then the pink is a good contrast to the light colors. I was completely blown away. This is also a bonus. That underneath the dust jacket is just bonus galore. This is the perfect sequel cover, and it kind of proves that the covers can get better as the series goes along. And next I want to mention the Six Crimson Cranes book cover for the US. Now, I do also love the UK illustration. I think that the UK colors look absolutely beautiful, but I want to talk about this illustration for a minute because I feel like after the cover first got revealed that everybody's been sleeping on this particular cover. I mean, I've always loved Elizabeth Lim's US covers to begin with, and I feel like everybody was praising them definitely before the UK covers happened. And the UK covers, they look pretty, but I think they contrast the US covers because they have such a different color palette and they lean more toward the purples and the pinks and the blues, whereas these ones kind of lean more towards the warmer colors. But this illustration of the protagonist is absolutely stunning. Whoever illustrated this cover is absolutely talented, without a doubt. That's why I consider it to be one of my favorite covers of this year, because I feel like this illustration is very unique. And I definitely feel like this cover is not being talked about as much as the UK illustration, as much as I do love the UK illustration. I adore it. This one really does take the cake for me. And now I'm gonna mention the Gilded ones by Namina Forna. I think I like this one mostly because of the color palette. You guys might be wondering what my favorite color is. I don't know what my favorite color is. It really depends on the mood that I'm in or what day it is, really. But what I do know is that I really love this green color and I really love the gold hues on this cover, and I feel like this cover really sets you up for a good story. While reading the Gilded ones, I was really enjoying myself, and I'm really happy that I picked this first book up based on its cover. I honestly cannot wait for the sequel to come out. But yeah, I definitely have the cover to thank in terms of attracting me to the series. And now I gotta mention Muse by Brittany Cavallaro. I did buy this book because of its cover, and I actually ended up loving this book. As much as a lot of people don't necessarily like it, I really enjoyed my time reading it, and I think that Brittany Cavallaro has so much more to tell in terms of this world. I don't know if the sequel is even confirmed, but what I do know is that I really want a sequel for Muse. This book is not even just beautiful on the outside. In my opinion, it's beautiful on the inside, and I think that Brittany Cavallaro wrote a very good alternative historical fiction story that really got me invested and really got me feeling. Brittany Cavallaro's covers, when it comes to the Sherlock Holmes series, they were beautiful to begin with. There's something about Muse that I love, and I think that it's because that it's a lot more of a defined cover. I think it gives me Song of the Forever Rains vibes in terms of its line art, but also it has a different range of creativity. I love Muse, the cover, and the book itself. The second last book I bring up on this list today is The Inadequate Heir by Danielle L. Jensen. Now, this book cover was illustrated by Dominique Wesson, who, if you don't know, has illustrated many things, including my ACOTAR dust jacket that I have on display. Dominique Wesson is a very talented illustrator, and I'd do anything to get their fan art or to get anything illustrated by them. I really wish that they illustrated more covers. I know a lot of people wanted the original covers to stay, but I 100% prefer the Dominique Wesson covers. The Inadequate Heir, I don't think I love because of the color palette, because it's a very warm color palette as opposed to what I prefer. I definitely prefer more colorful and more vibrant, whereas this one's a little bit more dull in terms of color palette. Because of what's going on in the background, it's more fiery, but the illustration of Karis and Zara is absolutely stunning. That's talent. And also Dominique Wesson just has a thing for making characters super attractive to the point that I just want to marry every single character that she illustrates. I swear. Finally, I want to mention a book that I don't yet have on my TBR, but I think that it has one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen. The book that I'm referring to is Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Moreno-Garcia. If you guys don't know, this is like, I think, an under 300 page book that has to do with vampires, which is very fascinating. I really love this cover illustration. It looks so pretty. As I mentioned, I'm definitely more of a vibrant color type of cover person, and I really think that they reached the mark with this one. It is absolute perfection. From what I know, this is not going to be a series. I usually collect books if they are in series. So that's a personal thing. I know it's a personal thing. I am tempted to buy this book, not just because of its cover, but because I hear great things about it, but like also mostly because of its cover. It's just one of the best covers I've seen in such a long time. Love the illustration. I love the way that it looks. I don't have any coherent thoughts because I haven't actually read the book, so I can't say how it like matches the story, but I can say that it looks pretty and it's one of my favorite book covers of the year, right? I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. Let me know if some of these book covers are also on your favorites list. If you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also, I have social medias. I'm at gswizzlebooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. And finally, I'm at TikTok. I'm at gswizzle on TikTok if you want to follow me there for some bookish content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it in a double. Started out with half and I flipped it in a double.